The same cold front that just dropped a large and extremely dangerous tornado on Enid, Oklahoma, is heading east. By Monday, it will collide with Gulf moisture right over the Appalachians. This is the first real organized outbreak the mountains have seen this year, and the Storm Prediction Center is already watching. Let us talk about what is coming. At 7:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time on April the 23rd, the Storm Prediction Center issued a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch for central and northern Oklahoma. The wording was clear: strong or violent tornadoes were possible. Less than 90 minutes later, the National Weather Service office in Enid confirmed a tornado emergency as a large funnel touched down just outside the city. Sirens wailed across Garfield County, and radar showed a classic hook echo moving east. The tornado, later rated a high-end EF3, tore through the south side of Enid at 8:40 p.m., carving a path over 11 miles long and staying on the ground for more than 20 minutes. Roofs were ripped off homes, power lines dropped across roads, and Vance Air Force Base took a direct hit. 4 people were injured, and emergency crews declared a mass casualty incident as first responders searched for those trapped in damaged buildings. Meteorologists at the Enid NWS office worked through the night, relaying warnings and tracking the storm's movements minute by minute. Their updates, echoed on local radio and social media, made it plain. This was not just another spring thunderstorm. The PDS designation, rarely used, meant the risk was higher than usual, and the tornado emergency was the strongest language the Weather Service can issue. By the time the all clear sounded, hundreds of families faced a long road to recovery. The same cold front that powered this outbreak is now pushing east, carrying with it the energy and instability that fueled the Oklahoma tornado. Here's what we know right now. The system has already proven it can deliver real damage. For those of us east of the Mississippi, it's time to pay attention. Stay safe, y'all. The Storm Prediction Center has drawn the lines for Monday, and the message is clear. The risk is real for Appalachia and the Ohio Valley. The latest outlook places a broad slight risk, what the SPC calls a level 2 out of 5, over Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and stretching north through the Ohio Valley. This means damaging wind gusts, large hail, and the chance of an isolated tornado are all on the table. For folks in West Tennessee and Western Kentucky, the enhanced risk zone sits right on top of you, bumping up the odds for more widespread damaging winds and a few stronger tornadoes. The official wording from the SPC calls this an all-hazards event, so it's not just about tornadoes, but also straight-line winds and hail that can damage roofs, vehicles, and power lines in minutes. WKRN out of Nashville put it plainly on their evening newscast. Monday is the day to watch for the greater, area-wide severe risk. That's not hype. It's a practical heads up from meteorologists who know these hills and hollers. The risk polygons on the SPC map show the heart of the threat running right through our region, with the enhanced area hugging the Tennessee River and the slight risk stretching east into the central mountains. The timing, based on current models, points to storms firing up by late morning in the west and marching east through the afternoon and evening. The SPC says to expect the main wave between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Central, but with mountain terrain, storms can linger after dark. Here's what we know right now. The same system that spun up a violent tornado in Oklahoma is heading our way. If you're anywhere in these risk zones, it's time to pay attention. Check your weather radios, review your safe room plan, and keep an eye on updates from the NWS. Prayers for the linemen out there, and for anyone working late shifts or driving the highways. Check on your neighbors, your elderly, your pets. Stay safe, y'all. Mountain country has its own rules when it comes to storms. A cold front pushing into flatland is one thing, but when it meets the Appalachian ridges, the game changes. These mountains force wet Gulf air up their slopes, a process called orographic lift, which squeezes more rain from every cloud and powers up wind speeds as air funnels through the valleys. The Weather Prediction Center has measured gusts topping 70 knots in these wind tunnels, strong enough to knock down trees and snap power lines in a matter of minutes. It's not just the wind that turns dangerous. The same steep slopes that give the region its beauty also mean runoff has nowhere to go but down fast. During heavy rain, small creeks can rise a quarter foot or more in just 1 hour, turning quiet hollows into flood zones. Folks here remember Helene in 2024, when water surged through eastern Kentucky at rates faster than anything seen in 30 years. 14 bridges washed out and entire neighborhoods were cut off before sunrise. Carla Henderson, a 5th grade teacher in Pike County, put it this way after Helene. The forecast said slight risk, but when the rain hit the ridge, it felt like a tornado warning. That's the reality for families, linemen, and first responders across the region. The forecast maps might show a yellow or orange zone, but the mountains have a way of turning a moderate risk into a real threat. Here's what we know right now. If you're in a valley or on a ridge, it's time to pay attention. Stay safe, y'all. April has already packed more severe weather into a few weeks than most years see all spring. The Storm Prediction Center counted 80 tornadoes during the April 15th and 16th outbreak alone, a number that puts this season well above normal for this point in the year. That same week, the National Weather Service issued 128 tornado warnings across the central and eastern United States, with dozens of those aimed squarely at the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. For folks in Virginia, the numbers stand out even more. April accounts for about 17% of all tornadoes ever recorded in the state, and this year, Virginia has already seen 3 confirmed tornadoes just since mid-month. That's more than 6 times the usual April average. These aren't just numbers for the record books. Each warning means sirens, lost sleep, and real decisions for families, farmers, and workers who have to weigh whether to head to the basement, pull the truck off the road, or call their neighbor to check in. When the NWS and SPC say that Monday's system is coming into a region that's already been on high alert, it's not just a routine forecast, it's a call for extra attention. The pattern is concerning, and with so many warnings already issued, it's clear this isn't just another spring. Here's what we know right now. The risk is real. And if you were in the path, it's time to pay attention. Stay safe, y'all. Monday's threat window is now set. The Storm Prediction Center puts the main action for Appalachia and the Ohio Valley between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Central, 15 to 22 Zulu on the clock. For folks living or traveling along I-81, I-77, or I-64, that means storms could hit during daylight hours, with the strongest gusts likely to sweep through by late afternoon. Models show wind gusts topping 60 knots in some mountain corridors, enough to bring down trees and lines. The advice from NOAA and FEMA is clear. Test your weather radios this weekend, check batteries, and make sure alerts are turned on for your phone. If you have a safe room or basement, clear a path and stock it with water, snacks, and a flashlight. For those with a generator, now's the time to run a quick test, check fuel, and keep it outdoors and vented. Truckers and anyone with a long drive on Monday should plan to be off the highway before storms arrive. If you have elderly neighbors or family who need extra help, check in and make sure they're ready. The pattern is concerning, and the best time to prepare is before the sky turns dark. Stay safe, y'all. Joe Miller's phone vibrates before dawn. As a Bluefield lineman, he reads the alert, 65-knot gusts possible, crews on standby. He checks his harness, thinking of the valleys where mistakes mean more than lost power. We're ready to roll as soon as the first call comes in. Prayers for the linemen out there, these valleys don't forgive mistakes. Sarah Dalton, hauling freight up E81, checks her radar at every stop. Radar's lit up from Nashville to Roanoke. If the wind picks up like they're saying, I'll pull off early. No loads worth a flipped trailer. Truckers know how fast a mountain pass can turn dangerous. In Pike County, Carla Henderson reviews the school's emergency kit, remembering last year's flood. We've got extra water, flashlights, and a plan for the kids who can't get home. If you need a place, the gym's open. Neighbors check on the elderly and pets. The First Baptist prayer line is already ringing. Here's what we know right now. The Storm Prediction Center says Monday's risk is real, and NWS is watching. If you're in the path, check on your neighbors, your elderly, your pets. Prayers for the linemen out there. Stay alert, trust the warnings, and stay safe, y'all.